like it's November 2012. Except time doesn't mean that much anymore. You see, there's no more jobs or bosses. Unless, that is, they capture you and take you prisoner. It all began at the end of October of last year. That's the time we now call the beginning of the troubles. The Federal Reserve gave their best effort to hyperinflate the economy, but it wasn't enough to keep the zombified Ponzi scheme known as Wall Street alive. Soon after, one by one, the multinational corporations began to die. Local trade and barter once again became common, but things became much more expensive. The local work officers liked the phrase, "Those who don't work, don't eat," and it was very true. The only wages you receive now for a day's labor from dusk until dawn is a handful of wheat. Things didn't seem all that bad at first. You had a lot of time to spend with your family and read books. But it was in June of 2012 that the riots began. Before that, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, there was martial law, there was rationing, there were FEMA camps, but we were happy. The government was taking care of us. But when the riots began, first it started in Los Angeles, then it spread like a plague throughout the rest of the country. Some people thought it would be a good idea to burn their houses to get back at the banks. But since all the firefighters had already been laid off, the fires consumed the cities. Now they're just desolate wastelands full of wild dogs and nomads. After that, it got even worse. Diseases that we'd never even heard of or forgotten about came back. Cholera, tuberculosis. We said to ourselves, this isn't supposed to happen in America. Someone will help us. But no one did. They said something about payback for the wars. And something else that I'd never heard of called derivatives. Then it got even worse. We had to do terrible things in order to survive. Things I don't even want to talk about now. I mean, we had to eat. Once the fall hit and there was no harvest because of all of the tornadoes, and there were no laborers left to pick the fields. That's when the civil wars began. These were resource wars for the remaining commodities, for control of water, fresh water and food. America split along old tribal lines and for religious factions. There's a lot of new religions now. I was one of the lucky ones. I'm a mercenary lieutenant in the army of the New Republic. A lot of people weren't so fortunate. I wonder what's going to happen next.